Mr. Waddles, would you give us your full name and DOC number, please?
Albert Waddles, 104240.
Thank you, Mr. Waddles. Mr. Waddles, let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record. Then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. We'll then ask Warden Ambo if she has any input, and we'll listen to what she has to say. And those persons who wish to speak on your behalf will have an opportunity to speak. You do have several people both there as well as it looks like maybe on Zoom who are supporting you but don't wish to speak, and that's Quincy Hood, your nephew, Rosemary Hood, your sister, Patricia Parker, and Gerald Parker. Also on Zoom is Miss Christy Sheremy. There with you is your attorney, Mr. Robert Lancaster, as well as Megan Carlson, who is a law student working with Mr. Lancaster. Once we hear from all of those persons, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then your lawyers will close out and then we'll vote. Do you understand our process?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the matter of Albert Waddles, DOC number 104240, date of birth September the 30th of 1962. Mr. Waddles has a parole eligibility date of June the 7th of 2023, an adjusted good time date of March the 27th of 2031. He was originally sentenced on a second-degree murder charge and an armed robbery charge to life imprisonment on June the 7th of 2023. His sentence was commuted by Governor Edwards to 99 years. Is that pretty accurate, Mr. Waddles?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Waddles, your case has been assigned to me, so I will begin discussing this matter with you. Mr. Waddles, how old are you, sir?
61.
And how long have you been in prison on these charges?
I've been in Angola 39 years. I've been incarcerated 41.
41 altogether, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you were 20 years old when this happened?
I was 19.
19, okay. Tell me, let's talk a little bit about Albert Waddles at 19 years old. How far had you gone in school?
I went to the 10th grade in school.
Okay. And what were you doing at the time? Were you working? What were you doing at 19 years old?
I was in between jobs at 19 years old. I was working for Midwest Farms. Then I got laid off, and then I started doing some crazy stuff when I was 19.
Well, who were you living with? Where were you living?
I was living with Miss Betty Leary at the time in Moortown in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Now, you talked about doing some crazy things. Were drugs and alcohol involved at all?
No, not drugs. I didn't do no drugs. I drank the beer. Yes, I did.
Did you drink a lot?
No, sir. I didn't drink a lot.
So alcohol wasn't an issue?
Well, I wouldn't say it was an issue, but you know, when you drink one drink, you have the desire to drink, you can always become an alcoholic. So I'm not going to rule it out.
So tell me what you're talking about when you say you did a lot of crazy things. Talk to me about the crazy things you did.
Well, I did some running around with some guys that I shouldn't have been running around with. We did some little petty burglaries and stuff like that. Stole some stuff out of the store, like shoplifting, stuff like that.
So tell me about these robberies, these armed robberies, the 7-Eleven, and tell me what happened.
Well, I walked in there at 7-Eleven and I pulled a pistol and demanded money, and I ended up shooting this clerk, which I didn't want to. But other than that, there's nothing too much to say, mister.
Now, the record suggests that you also admitted to robbing the same store.
Yes, I did previously.
Okay, tell me about that. Tell me about that.
First one?
Yeah.
Okay, first one, I came to the 7-Eleven one night on a bicycle, and I robbed the 7-Eleven. And that time there, I walked in, demanded money, took the guy's wallet, and I got away with that one. And so when I come back to the second robbery, I needed some money, and I went back to the same 7-Eleven, and I robbed the guy, and that's when I ended up shooting the guy.
So you've been in prison for 41 years. Tell me what you think about Albert Waddles at 19 years old.
I think Albert Wallace was a stupid kid at 19 years old that caused a lot of harm to people. And since I've been here, that I growed a lot, and through the programming that I've taken, it taught me a lot about myself.
What programs that you've taken do you believe or feel that help you the most?
I most identify with the victim awareness because it showed me that empathy, and I didn't know what that was. And I think about my sister, my nephew, and if I put myself in their position, in the victim position, I would know how I feel.
You've had 73 write-ups in the past. Your last one was in 2017. What was that for?
Me and my girlfriend was at a banquet, and we went into the weight room of the training academy to have sex. And when we went through the door, it didn't feel right. And we looked at each other and just said, no, this can't work. So we turned around, and on our way out, coming out the door, the security officer seen us, and that's when he locked me up.
Tell me about where will you go? What will you do if you're released? I know the Louisiana Parole Project is here, and I know that you're going to be going there, but tell me what your plans are when you get out.
I want to go with my sister. My sister has a room for me in Shreveport, and my nephew has a job for me to working with his media company. I would be putting up security cameras and helping with speakers and anything else he needs me to do.
Tell me the trades that you've learned while you've been in prison.
And presently, I work for 914 Warehouse. I learned how to do plumbing, I do maintenance, and I fix little minor things on the 18-wheelers at transportation, as well as keeping fuel, change the oil. And I do kind of like electrical work. I'm learning more about that.
Your lawyer has filed an excellent brief on your behalf, showing all of the things that you've done, your vocational work, your educational work, your personal development. You've taken Thinking for a Change, 100 hours of pre-release, anger management. Did you have an anger issue? Do you think that was a problem?
When I first came to prison, yes, I did have an anger issue because I felt like I was blaming everybody else for my mistake. And I had to find a way to try to get rid of that. So anger management came up and came available to us. That's when I took the class, and I learned from that class how to try to keep my anger in check and how to try to see anybody else that's feeling like that, how I can curb their anger.
Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Waddles?
Well, Mr. Waddles.
It's me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I can tell you that he's a minimum A trustee, and he do work for Prison Enterprise and the transportation at the warehouse. His last report was in 2017. He has taken substance abuse, Thinking for a Change, victim awareness, 100-hour pre-release, anger management, Malachi Dad, and he also has his GED that he obtained in 1991. I have had no problem with Mr. Waddles. The ladies at Prison Enterprise and the gentleman at Prison Enterprise commend him on his excellent work that he does there in helping them. So I do think that he will be a successful citizen if y'all was to grant him this pardon, parole.
Thank you very much, Warden. We appreciate your comments. Let's hear from your supporters. Ms. Sharamy.
Representing Christian Shammer, representing Louisiana Parole Project. Just so it's noted to the board, if Mr. Waddles is granted today, we are solely committed to providing all reentry programming he will be housed with us short term. The plan is after completion of our program, he will be residing with his relative in the Shreveport area. We will be committed, of course, to at least the next 12 months of case management and providing continued services to Mr. Waddles as needed.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Mr. Waddles, is there anything you'd like to say before I turn it over to your lawyers?
I'd just like to ask the board to give me a moment.
Take your time, sir.
Let me just say thank y'all for having me here today. And I know I'm not the same 19-year-old, but I'm just asking for a second chance. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Carlson?
Yes, hi, good afternoon. I first off want to thank the board for allowing me to speak on Albert's behalf today. I think throughout this hearing, we have seen some clear reasons why Albert is ready for release, including his work and his maintenance work, obtaining his GED, all of his completions of his self-development courses, as well as his reentry plan. I think there are just a few things I wanted to mention on his behalf that were not mentioned. The first off being that he did obtain his paralegal certificate, and he has used this as well as after he obtained his GED, he became an unofficial tutor for a lot of inmates in the prison. And I think this is really indicative of his character. As we've seen, he's very genuine, remorseful, and he not only works on himself, he also helps others, and he does not do this for the accolades. He does not do this for any type of certificate. He does it because he knows truly it is what is good. So for those reasons, we respectfully ask that Albert be granted parole with any conditions that you see fit.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carlson. We appreciate your comments. Panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Waddles?
Yes, sir.
It was a pleasure talking with you. I enjoyed the interview with you. You're a very sincere man, and it's very obvious to me that you have matured a lot from that 19-year-old boy who committed this crime. Comments by Warden Ambo are tremendous, very good work that you've done. The lawyer has pointed out all of the good community service work you performed for the people while they're in prison. I did notice that you had studied paralegals, and I didn't point it out, and I'm glad that you did. You have given back to your community. You've got an excellent transition plan with the Louisiana Parole Project. You've been in prison for 41 years. My vote would be to grant today to the Louisiana Parole Project, follow all of their recommendations, and then when you're done, to follow all of your recommendations with your parole officer. So I hope you go back to Shreveport, and I hope you enjoy your life. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Just one vote. Mr. O'Shea?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Waddles, how you
Yes, sir.
doing?
How you doing,
Nice seeing you again.
sir?
Mr. Waddles, my vote is exactly the same for the same reasons. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Wise?
Mr. Waddles, you did a great harm. You healed and you've been helping others. And there's nothing else we can ask. I commend you for that. My vote is the same for the same reasons, with the added condition that 6 months after release in the Shreveport, well, when you get to Shreveport, let's put it like that, whenever you relocate to Shreveport, begin some community service effort, at least 8 hours a month. Give back to the community with the elderly, with just whatever. You got so many talents and skills, you can decide. And in that 8 hours, your
Yes, sir.
preparations for that counts as well. So best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Waddles. Mr. Waddles,
Thank you.
parole has been granted with the conditions. You go to the Louisiana Parole Project, finish that program, and then follow whatever their instructions are. Listen to your parole officer and do 8 hours of community service work once you relocate to Shreveport. So good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.